Hi everybody, I know it's going to take a little while to kick in on Facebook Live, just to say that I'm live on the page and that you can all see me. So hi for those watching the replay. Again, you can actually comment below this video, even on the replay, ask me questions, I'll come back in and answer them. So if you are watching this on the replay, you can just do that. If you're watching this live as well, you can of course comment below and I will see it appear on my screen. I'm using this on my phone. For anyone that doesn't know or has never seen Facebook Live before, you have to stream through your phone, so it's actually happening on my mobile right now. Just seeing people appear on the stream. So if you can see me and hear me and you're watching this live, just comment below and say hello, just so I know that you can see me and hear me. Hopefully you've read the thing above, because you do have to click on the video to hear the sound and to start the video as well with these things. But yeah, let me just give you a few minutes for people to come in, because I know it does take about a minute to show up to sort of notify people that that I'm live. So just going to give it a little while and then we'll get stuck into the training here for you guys. Hi, I can see people coming on the line. If you can see me and hear me, just click or type yes in the comments, or just say hello, or whatever you want to do, because I know it's going to take a little while for everyone to appear on here. But that would be really, really great if you could do that. And like I say, ask me any questions in the comments, either on the stream itself or after it's finished on the replay. And I'll do my best over the next couple of days to come in and answer anything that you want to ask me on this training, or if you've got any questions about your own business, and I'll do the best to help you out that I can, okay? So first, let me just introduce myself. I'm Emma from EmmaCoombes.com. Generally speaking, I help heart-based entrepreneurs, people who feel they have a purpose, get their message out there, get known, get more clients, and make more money. I'm also a mother. I've got 2 kids. I unschool them. They're with a childminder today, which is why I can live stream without any noise in the background. So I'm sure you can feel my pain in that regard. So I totally understand, you know, the whole motherhood thing and having kids, because I was basically, you know, doing this since well, my own business. I'll give you a little bit of background so you understand where I've come from. My own business started when I used to do project manager before I was a parent. Obviously, I used to be a project manager earning really good money, and then what happened is I just decided, obviously, hi, can't see or hear anything, just click on the video and it should come up. But if you can't hear me, I'm not sure how that's going to help you. Angela, let me just see if you can, let me see if I can get on it online, and that might help. Just refresh the screen. Let me just type you here. I'm on my computer as well, so that's why I can do this. Yeah, so basically what I'm doing is I'm streaming from my phone. Yeah, I can see my own comment, that's cool. I'm streaming from my phone, and I'm actually got this live on the computer as well with the sound turned down, so I can see my, you know, my video. And yeah, let me just check it's working on here. It might take a little while, that's why. Yeah, okay, cool. That's all working, okay. So come back. Yeah, cool. Okay, hi Angela. Hi Michelle. People are coming in now, that's cool. So I'll just say hello if you can see me and hear me in the comments, because I can see your comments on my phone. So yeah, just go ahead and do that if you want to. And like I say, hopefully everyone's going to see the thing, so you just have to click on the video. So if anyone has any other problems and you guys can see or hear me, just let them know that you just have to click on the video and it should come up. I should be live. But yeah, so basically hi Michelle. My story is that basically I was a project manager, and I got pregnant with my first child. I wanted to do the whole natural birth thing, and I just decided, you know, I don't want to go back to work, which I'm sure a lot of you have had this kind of thing, and I don't want to go back into a 9-to-5 world, or like I was doing contracting at the time, and not see my kids grow up. Well, obviously it was one at the time. I didn't want to leave him with anyone. I didn't want to, you know, sort of let him go, and yeah, I wanted to be there for him basically. And I always kind of had this penchant to do alternative therapies, which is like some of the things I've been trained in from my early 20s kind of thing. And I just started getting online and setting up a business right then. And I started off with a website called Conscious Mama, which is all about sort of conscious parenting and natural birth and all that kind of stuff. And I still have that website, although I don't do really anything with it now. And I kind of came into the online world that way. That was about, I think, in 2008 when I got started. So it's been quite a while. And I, you know, as a lot of you probably know, I leveraged the online because I was a single mother at the time as well, I literally couldn't get out. I mean, you know, I was not stupidly, but in some ways I invested in some business training that involved a lot of networking and sort of going out to speak. And obviously as a single parent, I didn't have the luxury to do that. I couldn't afford childcare at the time, and I was, you know, basically on my couch, and I had, you know, I was a sort of like attachment parenting as well, so I was with the kid all the time, and or, you know, breastfeeding through the night and everything else. So I leveraged the power of the internet, which is what this is all about as well. And hopefully you guys are doing that, because I know a lot of you, I've read your comments in the other posts, and I know a lot of you have got like not only online business but also physical kind of local businesses as well. So I'll go into a little bit about that. I do mainly deal with online, but I know a little bit of offline, and obviously I can help you with all the sort of ideal client stuff and all that side of things. So let me just get my notes up. I've just got these on the computer. So yeah, so we'll start with ideal client, because some of these things I'm going to go through, it's basically the foundations of any business. Like if you get these things right, your business is going to take off a lot better than if you don't, right? It's just the foundational pieces that need to be in there that people don't always teach or people don't always know about. But hopefully a lot of you have heard of ideal client and you know what that's about. So an ideal client basically is your the perfect person that you want to work with, not only in terms of, you know, who they are and how they present themselves, and how they kind of turn up for you, either showing up on time, paying on time and all that kind of stuff, but it's also the kind of people that you can really help. Like you obviously have a solution in some way, whether that's a service or a product. Your solution has to kind of be an urgent problem solver for your ideal client. So it's the kind of clients that have those urgent problems that you can solve. So sometimes this can be tricky as well. So you really need to think about what is it that you offer, and what are you, whether that's a service, like I say, or a product or whatever. I know someone was doing jewelry making and all those kind of things. What is it you offer, and who is that kind of an urgent problem for? Who is that like, wow, I really need this. I really need this as a solution to whatever it is that's going on in my life, that's going to help me. So that's the kind of first step with ideal client to think about, is it's just someone that you can truly help, someone that you can solve an urgent problem for. The next thing, obviously, to get a little bit further into it is, once you kind of understand the concept of what an ideal client is, and like I say, it does include obviously the paying on time and just being a great client, whether that's, you know, buying from you or buying a service from you, and someone like you like to hang out with if you're giving them a service as well, obviously. The next thing really is to get a little bit deeper, is how to discover your ideal client. One thing you can do is, if you're like doing any kind of coaching or service-based work, is to offer kind of freebies at first. If you're just setting up or you have the time, and I know as mothers it's not always possible, but to just try and get talking to these people. One, it gives you a really good sort of idea of whether you do actually love to work with these kind of people and whether you can really help them, and it just helps you understand their problems. This is kind of going into a bit of the market research side, but try not, when a lot of people, which I did as well to start with, when you're thinking about your ideal client, you just do it all in your mind and you don't really get out there and sort of test it out or like speak to the people that you think are your ideal clients. And it's so important to do, because often what you think they'll be struggling with, actually they either use different language to explain it, or it's just not what you expect at all. So always try and do a bit of market research. Always try and get out there, speak to your ideal clients. If you do kind of coaching or anything like that, give them sort of some free coaching, just, you know, like 15 minutes, 20 minutes or whatever, just to get an idea of what they're mainly stuck with, and, you know, how you can help them, and just the language they're using to describe their problems as well. And also another one is, if you've already got clients, obviously a really great way to discover the ideal client for you really is to look at past clients. Is there someone that you've absolutely loved working with and has got absolutely amazing results from working with you? Whether that's just someone who's loved your products, if you're a product-based sort of person, or like if it's a service, just has loved like the results you've got them and love working with you. That's the kind of person that you think, like, you know, do I attract a certain type of person into my business? Do these kind of people get better results? Or, you know, do I love these kind of qualities in someone? Do I love working with this kind of person, and, you know, who has these kind of qualities, like, you know, whatever that might be for you, like fun, you know, paying on time, just, you know, kind of, often it's in resonance with our own personalities as well if we're service based. So look at past clients. And the other one is to do, if you haven't had past clients, or you haven't had any past clients that are what you consider ideal clients, you can obviously just go kind of try and imagine someone, and this is where it does get a little bit like intangible, but you can kind of imagine who would be someone that your product or service is gonna really revolutionize their life. And I know it might sound silly if you're thinking of I don't know, some kind of physical product in some way, but just think about, like, even I know I'm not sure of names, I'm really bad with names, I'm sorry if I forget anyone's name here, but I know someone was saying in the other thread about jewelry design, and another lady was saying about the baby sign language. Well, obviously baby sign language, you need a baby, obviously, so it's mothers, potentially even childminders as well, or people that, you know, or even nurseries, like if you want to leverage that. Okay. Oh, Angela, was it you? Ah, yeah, it was. I recognise your picture. See, I'm good with pictures and faces. I'm so bad with names. So, Angela, hi. So you can tell me a bit more about that online if you want to. Just, like, type in the chat. But I'm not sure what you're doing already. But if you think about someone, like, for example, that would want jewellery or to learn how to make jewellery, what kind of person is that? Is that someone that's just, like, had a passion for it their whole life? Is it, like, a teenager? Or just like someone older, or maybe it's other mothers who want to do that. I'm not sure. I don't know a lot about jewelry making. Obviously, I don't know if you need certain, obviously I'm guessing you need certain equipment, but if you need to have a studio, if you can just do it at home, I'm not sure how it all works. But like, if you think about the kind of people that may be naturally attracted to doing that whole jewelry making and things like that, is it just something they want to do on the side, or something that maybe you could leverage more if people are actually going to go and make jewelry and make money from it? Because as I'll come back to later on in this training, money is something that's very tangible, and obviously most people want money, you know, more money in their lives, so it's something that you can more easily sell if it's something that is a tangible benefit in their lives, which I'll come back to a bit later. But just basically think about the ideal client and think about why is it that they want my service? Why is it that it's the sort of one of the most urgent problems it could be in their life, you know, with what I have available, with what I'm actually doing. Now, I've put a link above, by the way, so if you want to go afterwards and download, I've got an ideal client cheat sheet on my website, which you can download, and it basically just takes you through a series of questions to kind of get into the deeper stuff of the ideal client, the pain points and all this kind of stuff, and it just leads you through. It's just a PDF download, it's a cheat sheet, so you can fill it out and get more in tune with your ideal client and like what they're wanting, so to speak. And this is kind of like the next piece. It's the emotional piece, because often what sells is emotion. Now, as crazy as that sounds, like, you think about advertising on TV, most of it in some way will elicit emotion in us. If you think about, you know, whether it's a poster or, like, you know, adverts on TV that you might watch or whatever. The thing is, we often buy from this back part of our brain, which is like the reptilian part of our brain, which is also where we give birth from as mothers. We probably know that inside out. And as a, you know, it comes from this part which is very instinctual and it's very emotional, and it's not the higher kind of like cortex, which is the thinking part. Like they say, I don't know if you know, this is a complete random fact, but you're not meant to ask a woman in labour, in hard labour, any questions, because it takes her out of the part that knows how to give birth and into this part, which is the part that can answer the question. So we literally buy from this part too. Like, it's our instincts, it's our desires, if you want. It's this kind of thing that makes people buy. So you have to kind of go into the emotional side of why someone will be buying from you, what it is you're offering, and what kind of emotional need it might meet in their life. Like, for example, with jewelry, like, this is what, and if you look at like some of the top, I don't know, you know, diamonds and all this kind of thing, you think of the association diamonds have with women, you know, like love, romance. It's all emotional stuff that they're selling. They're selling this whole, like, I don't know, like fabulous lifestyle if it's something expensive, or yeah, just the whole beauty of it and the glamour and the romance. But it's coming back to that emotion, because even beauty and glamour is kind of about significance or feeling special. So it's that feeling side. And like, you know, for, I don't know, I'm thinking guys with beer or something, how do they advertise beer? Often it can involve women, or you know, sex sells at the end of the day, or kind of just that, I don't know, I don't actually watch TV, so I'm guessing here, but you know, it's that whole kind of like that refreshing relaxedness or whatever it might be, if they're doing something with beer or food or whatever it might be. You kind of understand what I'm talking about. There's always a kind of emotional side behind anything. With kids, kind of when they're advertising to kids, it's often fun, exciting, and that kind of like joyful type thing. So think about your ideal client, really get into their mind and what they're looking for in their lives, like what they're wanting, and you kind of think about their pain points. Now, for mothers, for example, if I was, obviously advertising to heart-based entrepreneurs. But if I was adding advertising specifically to mothers, like, or business mothers, then I would hit on the pain point that, you know, as a mother, I understand this, that basically, you know, you probably want to set up a business because you don't want to miss your child growing up, and you want to spend more time with your child, and you want to have the flexibility and freedom that a business allows around your family. Now, if I'm advertising to someone that is maybe, you know, like a 20-year-old person that's stuck in a 9-to-5 they hate, I'm going to be advertising something really different to them. You see, they're going to have a different pain point. They're going to be like, you know, you hate your job, you completely, like, you're just going through the same Monday morning, you wake up and it hits you as soon as you walk in the door, this kind of like this dull dredge of boringness, meaningless activity that you have to go through every week, you know, and the, you know, the Friday night when you leave work and you're just like, yay, it's the weekend kind of thing, right? So if you think about who you're actually advertising to, but that's the same, just notice that I'm advertising the same service, but it's coming across very differently depending on who I'm aiming it at. So you've got to think of the pain point that someone is in. So that's why it's so important to get clear on your ideal client, because until you know who it is you're actually advertising to, you can't get clear on the benefits and the pain and the struggles and the challenges they might have right now. And I know someone was saying about doing confidence, and confidence is a really interesting one, and this is something that I always tell all my clients as well. This really comes back to the languaging as well, is if you're selling something like intangible, like confidence or like happiness or stress relief or you know, something like that, you've got to get into a tangible benefit at the end of the day. And confidence, I'll give you an example for ideal client why this is really crucial to get ideal clients, because you know, you could be aiming it at someone like, say, a woman who is in, you know, I don't know, 20-something in a relationship, and she's got a bit of a bad relationship, and yet helping them with confidence, and that's going to help them show up in the relationship differently. They'll probably ask for what they want more. They'll be more confident maybe in their bodies, what they look like, just, you know, feeling better within themselves, maybe more sexy, whatever it might be, right, in that relationship. You aim confidence maybe at a mother, for example. It might be that that mother's struggling with feeling confident as a mother, and then obviously their parenting's going to change. They're going to feel more happy. They're going to hopefully get better sleep if they can, and you know, those kind of benefits. So if you can see really clearly that the benefits are so completely different depending on who you're aiming your marketing at, which is why that even when you're dealing with something that's very general, like confidence, for example, or even jewelry making, for example, as well, the more specific you can get about who you're advertising it at, the more specific you can get about the benefits and the challenges they're having right now in their life, and you can get very tangible to advertise that to them, and it will attract people in a lot more because they really feel like you're talking to them. When we get too general, although we feel like, you know, everyone says, oh, I don't want to niche down, I don't want to niche down, and trust me, I've been in that situation and sometimes struggle with it all the time as well. Like, it always comes back to that. No, you have to really get very specific. You actually talk to more people by getting more specific, because you're talking on a much deeper level and people hear you more. And in a crowded marketplace, which we do have online and, you know, probably out there in the wide world anyway, the more specific you can get and the more you can talk to someone's heart and someone's pain and someone's emotions, the more they're going to resonate with you and listen to you and want what it is you have. So that's just really important. When you go too general and you just speak about, you know, whether it's happiness, like I say, confidence. I know someone was talking. Sorry about that. I just got an alarm on my phone. How random. But yeah, if you're talking about a sort of the general stuff of happiness and confidence and stuff, it's not speaking to anyone in specifically, so it is a lot more difficult to sell. And I know people out there like Tony Robbins and the big gurus out there are just selling, like, you know, personal growth and all that kind of stuff. But even if you look at Tony Robbins, his packages, he has a money one, he has a relationship one, and he has, I don't know, some other ones as well in there. But what I'm saying is that they still are kind of niching down to at least one kind of aspect of, like, money, relationship or career, whatever it might be. And on top of that, he has a very leveraged, obviously famous brand already. And for people that are just starting out, it doesn't work that way. Obviously, if you're a massive name, then that's one thing. But and he's got like a multi-million pound marketing team behind him, so it's kind of just separate. So I know people like, you know, say, but yeah, I'm selling happiness, but look at Tony Robbins, he does it. Yeah, it's a kind of different market that you're looking at by doing that. So just be really aware that the more specific you can get, the more people you're actually going to talk to, which is why ideal client is so important. Because when you get into their kind of, we call it like 3 a.m. sweats. What are they waking up about at 3 a.m. and worrying about? What are they kind of waking up about in the middle of the night and thinking, oh my God, you know, I need this problem solved? And if you can just get into that that mindset, that's when you can really speak to them. And it might be like another thing that often the ideal client is, it might be you a few years ago, or you like several months ago, or like you as a teenager, whatever it might be. It might be you in the past in some way. And often, you know, then it can be quite easy to go within and sort of like think, okay, what was I dealing with there? What was I, you know, my insecurities, my doubts, my fears? What was I struggling with, and what happened for me to overcome that, and what benefits did I get out of that? Because that's really another way to look at the ideal client as well. So another thing I want to hit on as well is the urgent problem. Now, in an ideal world in marketing, like they always say, you know, what sells? Well, basically it's money, you know, the big things: weight loss, money, relationships. So three of the big, like, most urgent problems anyone can have. If you can get your product and service back to hit any of those benefits, it will really help, because people are driven by those in a much stronger way than they are anything else. And it doesn't mean you have to turn into, you know, a weight loss coach or a you know, a money marketing coach or whatever it might be. That's not the case. But you can, no matter how crazy it might sound, you can often get your kind of niche back to one of those kind of things. Like, for example, even with the jewelry, well, if you're helping people learn how to make their own jewelry, they could potentially make money from that. And that's the sort of, you know, urgent problem they might have, is like, wow, you know, I really want to start a business on the side. I'm a creative type, but you know, what am I going to do, kind of thing. Well, if you hit on the benefit, then you can make money through this, that's going to attract them a lot more, for example, because obviously that is an urgent problem for most people, or like a lot of people. For example, you know, money can be often like, oh my God, you know, I really want more money, or I'd love to earn more money in my life, or maybe I want to lose weight, or the whole relationship thing as well. So just see if you can get it back to any of those points as well. But just kind of, this kind of ties in with the market research. Just be aware that whatever it is you're selling, or whatever business you're trying to set up in, make sure that the people you're aiming at actually want what you have to sell. Because sometimes what we do is we think, I really love to do this, I'd love to, you know, I think this is a great idea for people to have, and I'm going to start a business all around this. But they don't actually check that those people actually want it, because what we might want, or what we might think, isn't actually always true about someone else. So this is why the market research side really, really comes important. And I really want, for anyone that hasn't kind of researched their niche, or spoken to people, or just maybe getting ideas about what they can do in their business, really go out and speak to people. Like I was saying, get people on the phone, even if it's not a free coaching or something, or a freebie or whatever, just get them on the phone and say, and ask them questions. Like, put out questionnaires is another good one, and just say, you know, what are you struggling with most right now? What kind of do you want most in life? What are the benefits you want most out of your, you know, whatever it might be, your life, or your relationship, your career, whatever, you know, sort of aspect you're dealing with, and ask them. Because often we get caught up in our minds in terms of, like, for example, I used to, I'm kind of spiritual, and I did alternative therapies throughout my 20s before I had kids. And one of my first, after the kind of conscious parenting and all that kind of stuff, which I was still doing, I tried to set up doing sort of spiritual work. And it was basically along the lines of step into your power, you know, raise your vibration, access your higher self. The thing is, that didn't take off, and I'll tell you why. Because if I'd done it for, you know, years and years, you know, maybe I'd have got a following and made some money. But the reason that it didn't take off, you know, basically at all, really, is because I wasn't speaking to an urgent problem. I also wasn't making it tangible. And I was kind of speaking in terms of etheric, which is, you know, like I say, always bring it back to a tangible kind of benefit. And I wasn't checking with people that that's what they wanted, because even if you're a spiritual person, you still have, you know, physical things in life that you know, that you need or want, whether that's money, relationships, or career, or whatever it might be. So even as a spiritual kind of like entrepreneur, I had to know that actually I needed to sort of tie that back to something specific in their lives, and I wasn't doing that. And that comes back to kind of the one market research, that I wasn't just asking people what they actually wanted and if they would actually invest in, you know, having whatever it was I was trying to sell, you know, basically buy it, spend money on it, and how much they would actually spend money on it. But I just didn't do the research, and it wasn't really an urgent problem in people's life. It doesn't mean businesses like that can't work, but what helps is if you, like I say, tie it back to an urgent problem, tie it back to something that will sell in some way. That could often be, you know, so I know there's people out there, spiritual people in my community that I'm out online, that are aiming at entrepreneurs. And obviously if like, even as a mindset coach, which I do a lot, if I was just doing mindset without the business coaching, if I was just doing mindset, I would still make it so that and I know this is a fact, like when you change your mindset, your business will change. Why? Because you know, as we know, we suffer with procrastination, even not as mothers, but procrastination. We don't implement, we have fears about visibility and all this kind of stuff, so we don't go out there and do the work, right? So if you change your mindset and actually do the work, you're going to get results, and those results are going to be more money and more clients. That's what all entrepreneurs want. Well, service-based entrepreneurs, or customers if you're project-based, right? So if you can tie your service back, if you're aiming for entrepreneurs, you need to tie your service back all the time to more money and more clients. Oh, maybe that was, did you lose me? Maybe that was where the phone went out, but just hopefully you can see and tap the screen. Maybe it's just a connection. But yeah, always tie it back to more money and more clients or customers, because any business person obviously wants their business to be successful. And that's even if it's mindset, even if it's something intangible like confidence, for example, you need to get back to those kind of benefits. So that's really about just researching as well. Just research, what is it that my people want? What is it these people that I want to aim at actually want? And what is the language that they use? Because another thing that trips people up, we use language that we know, maybe we're using kind of like industry speak that we know about, like, you know, it's something you got to be careful with. So we're using words that maybe we would use because we kind of understand them, or like they're from our training, whatever we've been trained in, but the people out there might not know what they are, or actually, you know, care what they are, because they're using different words to describe their problem. So you've got to make sure you're not using words that are kind of goes above their heads, or just that they're not understanding. So that's a great idea why we need to do that whole market research piece. And just like get people on the phone, you know, if you're doing it face to face or you're doing it online, just get people on the phone, just ask, you know, in groups or wherever, can I just spend like 10 minutes with you on the phone if possible? If not, you can send out a survey. Just get them to answer some questions, and just watch for the common problems they're having, the common benefits they want, and the common words that they're using to describe what it is that they've got a problem with, because that's really, really important. So if you have got any questions, just like I say, type them in the chat throughout, and I'll try and answer them as I go. I'm going to sort of move on to the copywriting, and this kind of comes back to a little bit of what I've been saying anyway. It's something that a lot of people don't teach really, and it's kind of starting to get out there a little bit in the world, but sort of the online space, so to speak. But it really is important. And like, even if you've got like an offline business, like I know like the Baby Sign Language, for example, or anyone else that's doing kind of more offline stuff, when you're, you know, still going to be advertising your business in some way, when you're or speaking to people about your business, you still need to be using words that are going to attract people in. And part of the copywriting that is so important that a lot of people don't do, and it's also what I wasn't doing with that spiritual business I spoke to you about, is results-based language. We think we're speaking in terms of results, but a lot of the times we're not. Like I say, confidence isn't the result, it's a process, right? You get confidence to get something in your life, okay? So you could say, yeah, the confidence is the result, but no, because the end result is something from that confidence. Having the confidence gives you something else. So it's like getting to that end physical result that people want. So I'm trying to think of another example, but if you think of the Baby Sign Language, maybe, what is it that the mothers or fathers are wanting for their children? Well, it's not Baby Sign Language, it's maybe the ability to communicate with them before they have words, or, you know, whatever other reason. I'm not sure, like, you know, who your ideal client is with that one, but whatever reason it might be that you're you know, these parents are wanting it. But think about the end result that they're actually wanting. Again, with jewelry, maybe it's a bit more interesting. And again, like, I don't know who your ideal client would be, but say it's people who want to learn to make their own jewelry, then it's having a business ultimately. Like, it's having a jewelry business, so they're making money. So that physical benefit is actually making money and have the freedom to be, one, creative, and two, to own their own business. So it's like freedom kind of based thing. to not have to get up for work. That's a tangible benefit. Like, it's like speaking to people's pain points. Like when they have their own business making jewelry, then they're getting paid for their creativeness. They're not having to go into a 9-to-5 job they don't enjoy. So you basically, what you're doing is you're taking your service or product and you're describing it in a way that is very tangible in their life and very specific. The more specific you can get as well is really important, because it really speaks to people. Like, I'm trying to think of an example that I've used on my site, but one of the things I was aiming at, because I have a bit of a travel fetish myself and I love to travel, is people that wanted to travel. And one of my programs once was about was for people that wanted that sort of like work from anywhere lifestyle, because we're leveraging the online world. And it's just like, imagine yourself sitting on a beach with a margarita in hand, checking your Facebook on your phone, and knowing that you've a PayPal balance has just gone into your bank account, for example. That's a very it's just like a random one, but that's a very specific example of benefit and results-based language. It's describing a tiny moment in their life that's going to happen as a result of working with me, for example. So think about the real specific results that are going to happen as a product of working with you, or having your service or having your product in their lives. So for example, baby sign language, it might be, imagine the first time you see your baby sign to you a word and you get that instant, I don't know, overwhelming feeling in your heart that you can actually communicate with your child for the first time. Whatever that might be, I'm not sure why, what the ideal clients in your world want, but just as an example, like, just try and make it tangible, try and make it physical. If anyone's got any other businesses I'm not talking about in here, just let me know what they are, and I'll try and sort of aim it at that too, because I'm just giving the examples that I've got on that I've read in the last post. But yeah, just make sure they're tangible. Make sure they're talking to results, basically tangible physical benefits, not etheric benefits, not confidence. I know confidence is important. Trust me, it's one of the most important things in life. I totally agree. I'm all for, like, self-growth is my middle name. But whoever you're aiming it for, whoever you're aiming it at, you need to get to the end result of that confidence. And what would it make them look like? Will they stand up taller? Will they go and ask for that pay rise? Will they get out of a bad relationship? Will they go for the men they really want in their life? Will they lose that £5 because they have more confidence? So you have to think about, what is the confidence giving the person? What will the end result be in that person's life by having confidence, or whatever it is you're giving? And I'm not sure in terms of anyone that's got product-based businesses here. I'm not, depending on what the product is, but like, if you think about it, even if people that are doing makeup or stuff like that, or beauty kind of things, what is it giving them at the end of the day? Does it mean that they can go out and, like, maybe they have better skin, so they feel better in themselves, or they walk out the door and they just know they look $1 million, whatever it might be? Okay, but get into their sort of that ideal client's mindset of what it is they're looking for, what it is they want, and always speak in results-based language. And another thing with the copywriting is, especially when you're online, is to always speak in your own voice. So think about how you talk. And what I always say to my clients is, you can record how you talk into your voice recorder, like on your smartphone or whatever. Notice how you're actually talking out loud, and try and translate that voice into your writing, whether that's on your website, on your blog, on your flyers, leaflets, on Facebook posts, wherever it might be that you're writing. Try and translate your own voice into that social media or online kind of world, because it actually just gives you a very uniqueness, rather than it being all about this kind of, what we often do as well when we first start writing is we write as we're taught to write in school, for example. So it might be a bit more formal, or the grammar has to be this way around. But if you don't speak like that, it's okay to sometimes include, which is, a lot of people are doing now anyway, is include the sort of colloquial language, like maybe you have certain things from your part of the world or the country that you, say, like slang terms or whatever. And if you use that in your everyday life, use it online, because it puts your personality across. One of the main things about copywriting is you're getting your personality across. And, you can do that through your written word as well, but you have to just be aware that you're not writing as you would, like, in school or in an office, or, in that kind of professional way, because people are interested really in that professionality, unless you're maybe, I don't know, maybe if you're aiming at someone like corporate people maybe, but even then, like, to have that personality in it, have that kind of relationship in it, that matters so much, and it really will make a difference as well with the copywriting. And just another thing I want to say, is, let me just wind this down. well, yeah, the mindset after this. Okay, what another thing I wanted to hit on as well is, as mothers, I know this can be a major thing, but to really leverage the power of the internet. Like, I know some of you might have offline businesses and stuff, but just leverage the power of the internet, because I know as when I was a single mother as well, I just didn't have the ability to get out there so much. And for some of you, if you're aiming at mothers and you go into mother groups, that might be easy for you. But like, I know with the jewelry business as well, like my thing would be like, are you making videos? Are you using the power of live streaming to teach? I don't know if you know, people can learn from them their homes, but I'd imagine that it's possible in some way, maybe, that you can get out there in a bigger way and leverage the power of the internet. So you're not just dealing with, for anyone that's doing this, even the baby sign language, so you're leveraging the power of the internet to teach people through either live stream or just on video if you don't feel comfortable on live stream, you know, to start with, obviously, and just get your face and your message and your brand out there, and attract people from all around the world, because it gives us, one, we can work from home a lot more because we can do videos around our kids, and it leverages who you can reach, because if you're just dealing with your local area, it might not be something that's really a major thing in that area that people are wanting. So it just gives you a real power of leverage to get out there online in whatever way you can. And maybe it's making, you know, how-to videos online and eventually selling courses on whatever you're doing, if that's possible, or just no, not yet, but I want to. Scared though. Yeah, it's good. I mean, get on video, seriously. And I'll tell you something about video is, the more you do it, the easier it gets. Like, I started doing videos however long ago it was, and at first it was so difficult, like, to speak to camera. It really was. It was like, wow, I'm looking at this, like, you know, thing in front of me, like, how can I'm so much better if I'm talking to a person. But you know what, you forget it. Like, even now, I've started on Periscope doing live streams, and it just gets easier. And I swear, at first it might be really difficult and awkward, but you know what, the good thing about video, you don't have to put it out. You can just, like, practice, and I'm telling you, you'll get better talking to the camera. You'll get better talking to whoever it is that's kind of, or not there, or maybe there. I think we worry too much how we look, especially in my industry. I feel good today though, so may do a little one later with my business partner. Yes, great. And just let me know, what is your industry, Michelle, because it'll be interesting to know. Like, definitely. And by the way, my hair is wet. Like, I'm just to let you know, because I was thinking this morning, it's okay, because I'm dealing with a load of mothers, so hopefully they understand, like, my pain that my hair is actually wet. So I totally get that. And you know what, like, it's really interesting, even in my sort of business, there's this thing that you have to come across as professional, or look like you are extremely lucrative because people want to buy from you more if you look successful. You know, it's that whole idea of, like, looking successful. Probably a brow stencil demonstration. Okay, so you maybe do makeup. If you do makeup, yeah, that's really interesting. But I think sometimes it's not, because you know what people buy as well is realness and authenticity. And even with the makeup, you know, I've seen people online, if it is, I'm assuming it's makeup you're doing, but I've seen people online that, you know, some of them are really famous. Some of them are really famous in terms of, they go from the before picture of themselves to the after, and it's so completely different, especially when they're blonde, because, you know, me being fair, I totally understand it. You look like you've got no eyebrows and no, like, freaking, you know, eyelashes, so your face looks completely different, that makeup, right? And I mean, that is powerful, because that whole transformation, especially when it comes to makeup, before and afters, if you've got anything in your, like, in what you're doing that can show before and afters, whether it's weight loss, makeup, whatever, that is a really powerful thing that's gonna, you know, get people in as well, is because that whole before and after look. So I know there's people out there that start with a bare face and look, you know, basically horrific, and they, you know, make themselves up and they look freaking amazing. So that is powerful, because it tells other women that don't look like, you know, glamour models or supermodels. Yeah, beauty, skincare, makeup, facelifting, lash. Yeah, I'm telling you, it shows that other women that don't look like supermodels, that, you know what, you might not look like a supermodel, but you can still look like this at the end of it, because I'm going to show you the before and after, and just be vulnerable in yourself. And I know it's difficult, trust me, but I'm telling you, it will, you know, one of the most important things that people are going to do is it's the whole know, like, and trust factor. And one of that is really being yourself online, being vulnerable, showing that beauty training courses, yeah, so showing that you're just real, showing that you're a normal everyday person, and that it's okay that you don't look great. I mean, that's what I mean, especially if it's makeup. You can just do your own makeup on the camera. Like, there's so many thousands on YouTube doing that, and they're just getting amazing, like, you know, views and everything else. It's, if you start doing that, it's something you can definitely build up, definitely. And again, like, if you're doing training courses, definitely leverage the power of the internet, definitely leverage live streams. you know, give free live streams maybe to attract people in, free little, you know, the videos on Instagram, because obviously it's big on Instagram, and the same with the jury. Instagram, obviously, social media platform, Instagram is one of the, you know, bigger ones for kind of anything visual or like beauty related, or even fitness, I think in some way on Instagram is quite big. So definitely things that are visual, definitely on Instagram. And obviously you can do those 15-second videos on there as well. And the more you are on video, like for any of you that are, you know, teaching courses or live streaming or whatever, the more you're on video, more people can then resonate with you and get that whole know, like, trust factor, and people buy from that. Like, people, they need to trust you. And one of the ways, like they say, it takes like 7 to 11 touches with women to get that woman to trust you to buy from you. Now, one of the ways you can sort of cut down on that is actually to get on video, get on live streams and talk to people, because then it's, you know, it's the closest thing we have to face. And obviously when you're face to face with someone, you know, you pick up on their vibe, you pick up on their personality, you pick up on who they are. On a blank page, on paper, on writing, that's not going to come through as much. We can try, and it can get, you know, it can be really good if we've got really great copy and like really great sales pages and stuff. But having that, getting out there in front of your ideal clients is so important. And the more you can do it on video, on live stream, you know, just build up to the live stream. And like I say, if you are going to do that, start with a video, keep practicing. It does get easier, I promise. If you want to give yourself a little script, a really great like tip that I'll give you is you kind of do the context. So you start with like an intro sort of thing. Maybe offer a free taster on live streaming and then start to sell them, you mean? Yeah, you can do that. So, yeah, so if I answer this question, basically, you can basically just give a, yeah, I suppose if you're doing jewelry, you can do a lot of how-to videos, just some of the basics online, like maybe what do they need to start, what equipment do they need. I have no idea about jewelry making, right? It's something I was actually interested in at one time, but I wouldn't have no idea how to do it. I didn't know how it was even possible from home. But you know, there's so many questions. Like maybe go out there to people that want to start jewelry making and say, what questions do you have around jewelry making? And you can answer all those questions on YouTube and maybe show yourself making some jewelry like here and there and do a few how-tos, whether that's live streaming or YouTube. And then you still put a course together, because I know a lot of people will say, you know, yeah, but I'm scared if I give all my best material, who's going to want to buy from me? But the truth is, when you give your best material away for free, or you give a lot of good stuff away for free, people think, wow, they're really knowledgeable, they know their stuff, I'm going to go and work with them, because they're still not an expert. Like, we forget that we might know this stuff and we're telling someone else, but they're still not an expert in terms of knowing how to do it for themselves, or you know, like, you know, even jewelry making, like you can say, yeah, you've got to do this, 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 and this, and this, but the person might be like, yeah, but how did you do that? And like, but what if this happens? And there's so many questions around that of course they're still going to want to like learn from you or buy from you or whatever. And even just another great thing for the jewelry, for example, is to go on, like, maybe it's Instagram, or just like a short Facebook Live or whatever, just to say, hey, I just made this this new piece, what do you think? I use blah blah blah, whatever, just put it out online, and people just get to, you know you and a little bit about you, and like share a bit of your life and stuff. And I don't know if there's anyone else out there doing that. Actually, you should really maybe research that to see if there is. But you know, just show them what you've made, show them some of the pieces you've made, talk them through it, why did you use that, you know, material, whatever it might be, and just always bring it back to the benefits of that person that's going to buy you, like your services or your products, are going to want to hear about, basically. So that's, yeah, just do that, but literally try and give stuff, like, really it's about adding value to people, and the more value you can add out there for free, the more people are going to, you know, talk about you, know your brand, know that you're knowledgeable in what you do, and then want to come and work with you or buy from you. So yeah, so a good sort of like layout for the video is to do kind of the context piece. So for example, I might, like this, if it's going kind of back to the copywriting as well, so it might be in my industry, it might be, so you're scrolling through Facebook for the 5th time that day, getting lost in the Facebook newsfeed, you know, you say you're going to be on there for 5 minutes when you realise you've been on there for an hour already, you've done no work. So that might be the context, right? I start with the context, then it might be, you know, maybe I'm doing a productivity video or something, so then I kind of talk about the why is it important. If you, like, then I might go into, if you're going to spend all your time on Facebook, you're not going to get any work done. You're not going to get any work done. You're not going to be making any money coming into your bank account. So you need to get that stuff sorted so you can start making more money and get more clients into your business right now. So I'm hitting on the benefits, right? Why do they need it? And I always bring it back to the benefits that they're going to get by doing whatever it is you're telling them to do. And then I go into the teaching part at the end saying, well, this is how you get more productive in your business, you know, X, Y, and Z. And it might be a few points or like just me talking or whatever it is. But that's a really good sort of layout if you want to actually kind of script a little bit on your videos. And one thing you can do if you know how to edit, which is really simple, if you've got like an, you know, iMovie on your phone even, or like, you know, Windows Media, whatever it is, it's really simple to do. You can just do the context bit, like, you know, say, introduce yourself, hi, I'm Emma from blah, 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 blah. Then you can film, like, stop that, film the context bit, film the why piece, and then just film the actual teaching piece, and just edit them together so it runs smoothly. And then you don't have to remember so much. But just practice, really just practice. And like I say, live stream, just go on there for a taster. Like, if you're doing it, you can live stream from your business page, personal page, obviously in groups now. If you've got permission, if you've got your own group, definitely it's a great thing to live stream in. I've done a couple of trainings. I've done like discovery call training recently, and how to get clients in 30 days or less in my group recently as well. So that went down really well. And it also gets people to your group if you have a group, obviously, because they want to get the training, so they you know, are adding themselves to the group. So that's another little thing to think about, really. And but yeah, just try and leverage as much as possible what I'm saying. Like with kids, it's so important. Like, just let's use the power of the internet. Like, we've got it here, especially with live streaming, it's new, and a lot of people aren't doing it because it is kind of scary, right? So if you can get out there first, that's an amazing thing, because people are going to be following you first, kind of thing, and you'll get out you know, sort of like get the head of the kind of anyone else that might be sort of thinking to do it, especially in your niche or industry. And I was just thinking about something else I was going to say. Yeah, because I think someone asked me, let me just quickly go back to the page. I want to just hit on mindset, and then I want to just, there was something someone else asked me in this post I just want to hit on as well, which is basically, I think it's about getting a message out. Yeah, how do I get my message and my business out there in front of potential customers? And this was Tara, so I know you were talking about the confidence. It's basically, this is one of the things that I've learned from mentors, and you know what, and this is why it's very important if you can, to get on live stream or video, or just I always say hit on 2 social media platforms. Think about, where do your ideal clients hang out? Are they going to, you know, Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest, you know, if you're online, obviously, Facebook, where is it that they're going to be mostly? And just pick 2 social media platforms to really dominate, and get yourself in front of your ideal clients every single day. Now, I know that maybe as mothers, maybe you have like a bit of time off one day a week. Film like 4, 5, 6 videos, however many you can do, in the time when you haven't got the kids, or maybe one evening when they're sleeping, or like first thing in the morning if you get up before them, or when they're napping, whatever it is. Get all your videos done if you're going to do videos in those times, and then you've got them to go for the rest of the week. Or you could do, like, you know, if you're just doing 1 video a week, you do like one, some people do just like 4 videos at the beginning of every month, and then 1 for each week throughout the month on YouTube, for example. But especially with live streaming, and the good thing about live stream, I just like to say as well, is that it is a lot more relaxed. Like, especially Periscope. If you look at Periscope compared to YouTube, people come on in their pajamas, like, you know, they're just like walking down the street, they're going into Starbucks and talking to on Periscope, and these are like big names. Like, these people are very successful with a lot of clients and stuff, right? So they're just like heading into Starbucks with, you know, that earpiece in, on their phone, on Periscope, whatever it might be, and Facebook Live, right? So it's a lot more relaxed, so you don't have to worry so much about, you know, looking too professional or being too polished as well when it's on live stream. So it's just about being, you know, it's like a doorway into your own world, and that is increasing that no like trust factor. And if you've got kids in the background, you know, and you know they're obviously, you know, with your partner or like a friend or a helper that's coming to help, it can be part of your brand, you know, especially if you're aiming towards mothers. They completely get it. I totally understand, because I have 2 days a week when the kids aren't here. I've got a partner, now I'm with someone, but he's a singer, so sometimes he's away on cruises for like 1 or 2 weeks a month at the moment. So I'm still doing the whole single parent thing, you know, in terms of the month. So I totally understand like the whole childcare thing in terms of when can I fit stuff around it. Even calls, like even live streams like this. If I'm on a call, I've got loads of calls booked in, you know, to speak to clients or speak to potential clients or whatever it might be around when the kids are going to be here. So I have to very much niche my calendar into, you know, when are the kids here, whether they're not. And that's just normal. That's okay, you know. Just think about the planning in that if you're going to do videos that you don't want, like, you know, screaming or shouting or interruptions in, you know, the middle of, just try and plan it for obviously when they're not there. I mean, obviously it's common sense, but just, you can basically batch stuff up. So if you can do 4 videos at one time, just do that. Obviously with live streaming, different. Just find, you know, little 5-minute pockets of the day. It doesn't have to be long, just to live stream, just to get your face in front of people. Again, Facebook posts, you can just like do 4 or 5 Facebook posts at a time, and then even schedule them on Facebook, for example, or through Buffer or something like that, to go out at certain times. Even with Instagram, obviously, but I think on Instagram you still need to say, even if you're using like, you know, Latergram and stuff like that, you still need to say, yeah, I'm going to post this now. It's kind of annoying like that, but I think that's how Instagram's doing. But I think they are changing that, or they already have changed it, so just watch out for that if you're using Instagram as well. But basically batch it, so it's like it's all ready and it's all there to go, because it makes it like it's just leveraging stuff and it's just automating stuff. And when we're busy with kids, or, you know, just whatever you got going on in your life, it just helps things so much more, and your content is getting out there a lot more. So it's basically about getting your face on. I say 2 social media platforms. Try and put content in front of your ideal clients every day. If you're doing it locally, and I mean, it really depends where. Obviously, just think about where your ideal clients hang out. Can you do meetup groups? Can you have host your own group, like locally, like weekly or monthly or whatever it might be? Flyers, go and give free talks or free demonstrations to certain groups you might have in your area. And again, meetup.com is really awesome for that, because, I don't know, whatever you might be doing, like even baby sign language, for example, give a demonstration, go to certain places where like there's mothers meets, and say, I'm going to come down, would you like me to give a demonstration for you? Just free sort of tasters and stuff, free workshops, just offer value. Basically, it's all about offering value, showing what you've got, and then people are going to get to know you, like you, trust you, and everything else, and building your brand and your name and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully that helps. If there's anything specific, especially for you, Tara, I know you asked me that question, just ask me in the comments below and I'll answer it, because just like talk to me about, I'm not sure who your ideal client is, so if you tell me who your ideal client is, I'll be able to get more like specific about what I'm thinking, okay, where maybe they hang out. And like I say, Facebook groups is amazing as well. Like obviously this one is a Facebook group that I'm in right now, so if you advertise to, you know, female, you know, mother entrepreneurs, or maybe there's, you know, baby like mothers groups out there on Facebook, or whatever it might be, like Facebook groups is another amazing sort of platform and leverage for that as well. And just sort of last, I'm just aware of the time as well. So mindset. This is I go deep into mindset. Mindset for me is like 80% of success is mindset. A lot of us, like, we do trainings, we don't implement, we procrastinate, even without like having kids. People would be like procrastinating, which I've done. We have fears around visibility, like you said, about, you know, not feeling comfortable on camera. All of this is totally and utterly normal. Like, no matter what kind of level of success you get to, you're going to have fears come up. It's like always like the new level, new devil, as they say, right? And it's just like, you know, it could be anything. Like I say, with video and stuff, just practicing. Honestly, just practice. It gets easier. The first time you live stream, I remember the first time I hit that button on Periscope, I was so nervous, right? I was like literally like, Now it's just like, it's crazy. I've just spoken to myself for nearly an hour. I have just spoken at myself on a screen. Like, I know you're listening to me, right? But the insanity of it, I just spoken to myself. I never thought I'd be getting to a place where I could speak for an hour. And by the way, I'm sorry, I know I speak very fast, right? A lot of people say, but I never thought I'd get to that level. But you just build it up. It's not like you have to go and do an hour live stream as a first thing. Just practice like videoing yourself on your camera. And I know the first thing you're gonna do is like, oh, but I look rubbish, or I can't believe I said that, or do I really say a lot, or like, you know, all those little things that you might say or do, or just get used to seeing yourself for a start. Like, get used to seeing yourself online, get used to seeing your face, seeing your you know, the way, I don't know, like your facial expressions, because often when we don't video ourselves a lot, we're like, oh my god, do I look like that? Do I speak like that? Does my voice sound like that? And at first, just get over all those things. Trust me, just like listen to yourself, it gets easier. But one of the things I say, because I know so many people, you know, deal with like not good enough, feeling like a fraud, no one's gonna like me, no one's gonna want what I have, no one's gonna buy from me, you know, so many just like fears around visibility, and do I look okay, and you know, maybe I'm not I don't know, maybe I don't have a face for camera, god, whatever it might be, like, you know. And I know as a mother, like, oh my god, I look rubbish today, like, how can I possibly put myself on live stream? But people love that because it's real and people like you more. But one thing I want to leave you with, and this is something that's really, really powerful, I'm a hypnotherapist, I've done NLP, EFT, Reiki, you name it, I'm qualified in probably a billion different alternative therapies. And some of the things that I do with my clients, and this has changed my life, it's helped me, like, things like this has helped me triple my income less than 3 months. I've helped other people do the same. So it's a money mindset thing as well as just a mindset thing. But literally what you need to do every day, and I really recommend this, is we have this thing inside of us which is called like our own self-image blueprint. It's how we see ourselves internally. So we might see ourselves as obviously people that are successful have this kind of internal self-image that they're successful. For a lot of us that maybe are starting businesses after we've had kids, for example, or because we've had kids, maybe we don't have a self-image that we're actually successful entrepreneurs in some way, or that people are going to like us or buy from us, whatever it might be. So we have all these beliefs going on. One of the most powerful ways you can, use to get over this is really like taking time out every day, like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 if you can, to, sort of like visualize what I call like virtual reality. Visualize yourself as you want to be, confident, feeling confident, successful, getting clients, getting customers, people loving your stuff, raving about you, all the things the most amazing things you can imagine. If you want to write it down, it works. Like if you write better, that's, go for it, like journal and write every day, but just do it every single day. You need to focus on it every single day. And getting to the feeling state of having it. And this, for any of you that are into law of attraction or know anything about that, this is where this overlaps with quantum physics, basically, and like psychology, because it all comes into one in this place. When your body gets into the feeling state of having something, for a start, the brain doesn't know the difference between a real and a vividly imagined event. So if you're vividly imagining something to the state where you're actually feeling it in your body, it doesn't know that it's not real, right? So your brain is actually going to go out and act as if it's real after you've imagined that enough. So if you practice imagining this stuff and you get into the feeling state of having it, you are literally going to change your reality on the outside, because you're, one, going to act differently, two, your body language, the way you hold yourself, all those little unconscious things that we notice in someone else, will change, and then people will start reacting to you differently and like acting towards you differently. Everything, like our belief systems change, so we go out and take bigger, bolder actions. We put ourselves out there more. People are more attracted to us because of the way we're holding ourselves, or the whatever we're doing. It's amazing how much change you can like create by doing this regularly. But really, just get into sort of a virtual reality, like 5, 10, 15 minutes before bed, when you wake up, whenever you've got like a few minutes. Yes, law of attraction. Do you do one-to-one, Emma? Yes, I do. Yeah, I do one-to-one with business and mindset, law of attraction, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm all basically, my belief is as within, so without. Whatever's in the external world is reflecting from what's coming with us internally. And when you do this work on yourself every single day, I swear, like, there's so many changes. I have so many blockages. I'm telling you, it's all possible. Like I've done so much work on myself. Like, I mean, that's what life is, a self-growth journey, and that's what business is. It's mainly about growing ourselves, because we have to face so many like you say, blockages, right? So many blockages, so many things that are holding us back, fears, negative beliefs, things that we're not even conscious of. And that's like, when you do this visualizations, the things that you're not even conscious of that are holding you back from getting out there and being successful, they'll shift as well. Because what you often find is, like, I really find it difficult to imagine myself successful, because actually you've got a belief in your mind that's stopping you from even seeing that internally, as crazy as that might sound, or get into that feeling states. So the more you practice that, you're actually rewiring your neural net in your brain, right? This is like neuroscience. You're rewiring the way that the neurons I can't even talk. The way that the neurons usually fire in your brain. Because they'll go down habitual paths that will like create that, your child does something, you get angry. That's a habitual path in your brain that's part of the neural net that is actually firing. When you practice something else internally, like in meditation, in a virtual reality, it will literally change that neural net, and you will start acting differently, and it will be natural and automatic for you to act differently. It's not like you have to feel the fear and do it anyway. It's not like you have to really struggle to do something differently. When you change the internal, it is natural and easy for the external to change. And, that's why it's so powerful. This work is so powerful. You can do it with money. You can do it with your success. You can do it in anything. You can do it with relationships. It works for anything. So especially for our businesses, really, like, this is the biggest, like, there's so many different things I could teach you around mindset. But if you just do this one thing, it will start to shift things in your life, I promise. So, like, do it, like, if you can, like, 15 minutes, like 10, 15 minutes every single day. Imagine yourself as you want to be in your business, seeing yourself being successful, seeing yourself selling to people, getting lots of customers, clients, people loving what you do, people referring you, just, have money coming into your bank account, having the freedom with your kids, whatever it might be that you want it for. just really notice that and get into doing that every day as much as you can. So if you've got any more questions, do ask me below. I know I'm aware of the time. If you want, like I say, there's the ideal client cheat sheet is the link is above this. You can download that if you want to get more into the mind of your ideal client cheat sheet. You can ask me anything in the comments on the replay and I'll come back in and answer them as well. And yes, definitely, like, law of attraction for me is kind of like the as within, so without. So it's definitely possible. Yeah, if you want to find out more about me, you can hit me up on Facebook, obviously, because my link is obviously above this, because you can just hit my profile. You can go to my group. I have a business page as well if you want to, like, check any of that out. My website is emmacoombes.com. And yeah, just have a look around, and please just ask me and I'll come and answer anything after this, because yeah, it'll be here for forever. So this live stream will be here forever. That's how it works. And just come and comment, and like I say, if there's anything I haven't hit on that you wanted me to hit on in these previous comments, I think I've covered everything that I can remember. Let me just quickly check. Yeah, okay, and Michelle, yeah, you were saying about, yeah, you were talking about the beauty salon, that's what it was, wasn't it? Okay, yeah, and I was going to say, Michelle, if you're doing high-end sort of thing in five-star hairdressers, then where do high-end people hang out that are going to be wanting beauty kind of thing? Like, is there any high-end hotels around there that you could leaflet? Is there any groups of staff, like, of people, you know, that kind of, like, successful people, the people that are the kind of people that are going to want to go to five-star places, right? You know, where are they hanging out? You know, can you offer them, can you do some workshops maybe for people? Could you offer taster sessions somewhere? Can you just let people know in your local area, hey, this is, you know, are you on Google Maps? That's a big one as well. Like, people don't often put themselves on Google Maps. It's so easy to do. Retaining as well. That's another good thing to hit on, is retaining clients. Retaining clients, one is about kind of selling the package, which is like packaging your programs, which is a whole big thing we can go into. So you need to package. I actually have there's a free training in my group talking about packaging, but there's actually, I've got a download, I think it's on my main page is what it's called, how to get high-end, I think it's five tools or something to get high-end clients, and that would be really worth you listening to, because the kind of clients you're going for are kind of high-end, and what you need to do is to get retained clients is to package stuff. So even with beauty, like whatever it might be, instead of selling them a one-to-one, like one-off session, which is any of you doing clients like client service-based work, you need to package. Like, I haven't hit on that today at all, but definitely package. Don't just do one-on-one, like a 1-hour session. You're packaging your stuff, so you're working with them maybe for 3 months. Like, what kind of services would someone in beauty, I'm not sure about beauty, but what would they want to have over 3 months? Or maybe it's a 6-month thing, and like they have, you know, that you do one thing and then they come in for regular touch-ups, like, you know, if they're getting their, I don't know, like eyelashes tinted, or like, I don't know, waxing or whatever it is. I'm not sure what you're doing, but so you're selling them like a package they pay for once, or they pay for monthly, and then, you know, they're coming back to you. And another thing is just to really like up the customer service. Especially if it's high end, what would they love? What kind of freebies can you give them? Like little tasters, like, you know how they have, like, you know, little packages of skincare products you could give them, or maybe like a 10%, like 5% off your third treatment. Can you do something like the whole, like, get so many stamps and you get a free sort of treatment or something, you know, something along those lines. Just come up with loads of ideas of what would your clients really love? What would they love to have as a kind of freebie offer, or like sort of incentive to come back. That's what you kind of think about. And it's really about, who are your ideal clients and why are they coming to you? What are they wanting to look, you know, is it to look good? Is it that significance? Is it, you know, maybe they have a career or something they need to look good for, or a partner, or I don't know, whatever it might be. So just go into that kind of ideal client. And maybe another thing, just ask them, like, what would like really entice you to come back and keep coming back here? Or how, and also just for anybody that's doing client work as well, always try and follow up with a follow-up questionnaire about what did you love about the service, what didn't you like, what can we improve on, because that is really telling. Like, when you say, ask people, you know, what can I improve on next time, that will be really telling in terms of, you know, what you can do to make the service better, and what you're not maybe thinking about that your clients are noticing that maybe you hadn't even thought about before. So it really gets into some really good territory in terms of understanding them and knowing how you can kind of improve your service so people are coming back to you, people are recommending you. And that's another thing, is to ask for recommendations, ask for referrals. Don't feel shy. If you can, like I know in beauty it might be different, but anyone with client-based business as well, try and get people's contact details, whether that's an email, a physical address, phone number, wherever it is, and follow up with them. Follow up, like make sure, like, how did you find your treatment? Send them Christmas cards, send them birthday cards if you got their birthday. Just keep in touch, that keep in touch kind of thing. And again, that's another thing I go into in my I think 5 ways to get high-end clients or something. It's on the front page of my website, so you can all head there if you want to get it. Like, and there's a lot of tools in there around packaging, client follow-up, and getting referrals and all that kind of stuff. So anyone in kind of a client-based business, a service-based business, that's like, you can download that as well, and hopefully that will be of some help. But yeah, like I say, any more comments, any more questions, just please type them in, and I will get back to you after the stream has ended, because it's got an hour now. So hopefully that's been kind of helpful for you. And like I say, anything, just ask me. EmmaCombes.com is my website. I'll edit the thing above this and just put that there as well, in case any of you want to go over there and get that freebie as well. And yeah, hopefully it's been helpful, and I'll speak to you very soon in the comments, and hope you have a rest of your day. So goodbye for now, and this is me signing off. Okay, bye bye.